You may have been here for a while, or you might have just joined. Either way, this video is for you. This video is for the four of us. A tight-knit community full of different personalities, all getting on every night to play our favorite games. Over 20 different people from all corners of the earth, and more than 20 different games we play each day. A growing community and a group of people I look forward to talking with as soon as the day starts. With this video, I hope to give our older members a bit of nostalgia, and our newer ones an idea of what came before them. This is the history of the four of us. August, Polaris. It all started with one post from a man named Tony. A Terraria looking for group host explaining the Polaris server and its need for new players for its second season of its existence. Without this post, the founding members would have never met each other, and the four of us would have never been created. Thank you, Tony. The meeting of Henry, Creel, Frags, and Giraffe. Polaris was a chaotic and fun Terraria server with 4 factions, each representing a class. Giraffe was a warrior, Frags and Creels were summoners, and I was a mage. Coincidentally, both Frags and I were the leaders of our respective groups, so we were the first to be in a group chat together to discuss server politics and how the game was going. Over the course of Polaris, the active players all got to know each other, getting on every night to farm resources, build houses, and fight bosses. The mages and the summoners quickly rose to power with the mage city on the left of the map, built by head builder Henry, that's me, and the summoner isles on the right above the jungle, built by Frags and Co. This was one of the funnest experiences I've ever done and gives me a nostalgic feeling whenever I think about it. Once the playthrough was over, and Polaris was unfortunately disbanded, Giraffe made a Discord called The Funny People, the precursor to the four of us, and with that, we were off. September. As school started and Polaris ended, I joined a server called The Funny People. To be honest, I didn't know the other 3 members well, and was confused as to why we'd even started this Discord group. I think I'd suggested doing another Terraria playthrough, and that's what prompted the group chat to be made. Due to me not knowing the other members well, and still having a much stronger friend group IRL, I wasn't very active in the chat for the first month or so of its creation. Our first playthrough. Our first playthrough was of course the Terraria one I'd suggested after ending Polaris. It was another fun, though much smaller Terraria playthrough that helped me get to know the other members more and get more comfortable with them. This was also around the time we learned of Super Autopets, a game that we would come to play almost every day out of pure boredom, where you fight each other with your team of animals. Creel was always the best, but then they updated the game, changed all the animals, and now we don't really play it anymore. September was definitely a slower month due to the newness of our group and the small amount of games we would play together. October. October was definitely the month when we started getting into the rhythm of things. Each night we played video games together, and I also started to be more active on the server. All of this playing together helped us learn more about each other and get a better insight into who we were, and our roles or position in our friend group. It also helped that this month was the month we discovered a host of new games that would go on to play for the following months, the most prominent of which would be a game called Rounds. Rounds is a card-based game where you fight it out in a tiny arena with your friends, creating builds off the cards you get after losing. The game's ability to be different every time we played, as well as its modding capabilities, made it our favorite downtime game we'd play when not doing a Terraria or Minecraft playthrough. Other notable events were discovering Funny Tank Game, Balloons, and Giraffe and Frag starting to play Pokemon together, along with the birth of the Running of the Ones, a video game-based competition where if you lost, you'd have to do something embarrassing and annoying, like use a pink Discord profile picture for 4 fucking months. November. November was the month of a very first Minecraft playthrough. It was pretty small and nothing notable really happened during it, though it does mark a big turning point when we started doing more playthroughs of various games with each other. November was also the time when we started getting more comfortable enough with each other to make memes out of each other. We had Giraffe being a middle school femboy, Frags being a sociopathic simp, Henry having a forehead bigger and flatter than the state of Wyoming, as well as a crippling rice addiction, and Creel being Asian. This was the first month I sent a picture of myself too, so that's pretty cool. Towards the end of November, we had somewhat of a burnout or lull in the server. A combination of school, extracurricular activities, and people being busy caused the server to be relatively empty and void of conversation. Let's talk a second about the main members. These are the founding members and most active members in the server. They include Henry, Creel, Frags, Giraffe, and Ramen. We'll be going over each person in detail in between each month. And first up is me, Henry. I'm an introverted person with an INFJ personality. Of the core members, I'd say I'm the most childish and inclined towards humor. Whenever I play games with them, my main thing is being creative, building bases, creating landscapes, and helping out the vibe of the area. I'm also the one who creates videos for or about other members, as well as create history videos like this one. My favorite food is rice, and my favorite color is gray. I'd say my main values include having fun, calmness, and creativity. I'd say I give off a white, yellowish vibe or aura, and here are some of the things that the other members have to say about me. What were your first impressions of me?
I don't know, Henry. You were a really big dumbass. Okay, really fucking stupid.
Uh, you were irrelevant, but cool.
Okay.
You were very annoying.
How do you feel about me now?
You're still irrelevant, but you're very cool.
About
It
the
didn't
same.
change.
You know,
Frank, shut up. It's just him. Go.
Henry, I didn't mean that. I just actually don't know. But I don't know. I'm the worst one to interview for this.
You're slightly annoying and very retarded.
Okay, well, that was interesting. Let's move on. December. December is one of the months we played the most, thanks in part to another Minecraft playthrough, as well as winter break allowing us to play 24/7. I call the Minecraft playthrough we did this month the Crater Minecraft server, and let me tell you, this server was the fucking shit. While exploring, we found a giant-ass crater in the middle of the plains biome and decided to make our home in it, making cave mountain homes alongside the walls of the crater. Henry, me, one of the most creative of the founding members, took the time to terraform the entire fucking crater, creating a path leading down the new lake at the bottom of the hole. Also, I made a kick-ass cave with dripstones. It looked really good, alright? In the server, we had farms, a sophisticated villager trading hall, and various cave structures scattered throughout the crater. After that was winter break, and as I said, this brought an abundance of late-night gaming sessions, bringing us closer together and strengthening our friendship. Yay! Also, chess was introduced this month, and this was not exactly my favorite game, but whatever, it is what it is. I think December was also around the same time we saw Frags and Giraffe's face for the first time. That and learning each other's names. Needless to say, they already kind of knew my name. And Krill's face, by the way, remains a mystery to this day, though I have seen his forehead and the top of his hair, and it's alright. It looks good. Let's talk about Krill for a second. For the first few weeks of the Funny People server, I couldn't differentiate between Krill and Giraffe, due to them being more similar than Frags. Krill is an INTP personality type, and he's typically quiet, but he's ready to roast the hell out of you at a moment's notice. He gears towards the redstone or engineering parts of games, having knowledge of how to make farms and machines to make our lives easier during playthroughs. Krill's favorite food is curry, and his favorite color is green. He's a person who I think would know how to solve a Rubik's Cube or beat my ass in chess. Some things I know about him is that he plays 3 instruments, he was kidnapped or something when he was 3, and when he was 8, he tried to eat a rock. I think Krill gives off a dark blue, slightly green, with a bit of gray aura vibe. Here's what the others have to say about him. What were your first impressions of Krill?
Woman.
He feels depressed.
How do you feel about him now?
He is depressed.
Asian.
What kind words? Now back to the timeline. January. I think January was the first month we teased the idea of moving in together at one point. Though it was mostly just me and Frags who talked about it because we were both seniors at the time, with Giraffe and Krill being a few years younger than us. It was also at this point that Ramen was foreshadowed, with Frags discussing his old Terraria playthrough and the 3 members who joined him during it. I was very intrigued and hoped that this Ramen would join us soon. Though Frags said he hasn't been able to contact him for some time, and he was a bit of a mystery. January was another time of plentiful playthroughs, with school not yet having started and us learning about all the games we had in common. This included more Minecraft, Terraria, and Castle Crashers. By the end of January, it had been an entire 6 months since we met and started gaming together. For half a year, we dealt with Frags yelling at us, Henry wandering off at random times to get food and go on side missions, Giraffe telling us to kill ourselves, and Krill making us think we're crazy by whispering everything a second time he said after fucking saying it. It was a big milestone, and I think it's cool to see that we've been playing for over half a year. During January was also the time Henry and Frags promised to chess box each other the first time they met in person, an event that is still waiting to happen to this day. You're fucking going down, Frags, little bitch. Now let's talk about Giraffe. If there's one thing I have to say about Giraffe, it's that he's kind. Whenever he tells me to kill myself, He always makes sure to say that he was joking and assure me that I shouldn't pull the trigger on the shotgun that I'm currently making out with. I was surprised to learn that he was 4 years younger than me, and his colorful insults and ability to make Frags want to kill himself are both at a 12th grade level. Some things I know about him is that he almost fell off a cliff and died. He once shit his pants 3 times in 15 minutes, and he once hit his older brother with a baseball bat. Giraffe's favorite color is purple, and his favorite food is burgers. He's an INFP personality type too. He gives off a green, orange, and a little bit red aura or vibe to me. Here's what other people have to say about him. What was your first impression of Giraffe?
I thought he was like a 30-year-old woman.
He felt like the the little kid that kept trying to say me next, me next, me next, and got like bullied.
How do you feel about him now?
He's like a 10-year-old woman.
What?
It didn't change.
It didn't change indeed. You know what did change? Everything after this next month. February. Let me just say I'm not the best at spring months. After December and before July, I don't really know what month is what, and I like to keep it that way. It's always a surprise to see what month is next. I also count January and the month after January as a part of spring because anything after December is not winter. That's how I see it. Deal with it. Anyway, due to this, all the spring months kind of mix together for me, and it's kind of harder to keep track of what happened when. But I think I did my best. So yeah. February was a big time for comparative tests like our MBTI personality tests, IQ tests, knowledge tests, and what house would be in Hogwarts. February was also the month we came closest to falling apart as a friend group. Frags and Krill had beef with each other and were not getting along. I remember I was on break at my dojo teaching job when I got a call from Giraffe. We talked about the situation and what would happen if we were to split and how to deal with the situation. All we could do is hope things would blow over and everything would go back to normal. Unfortunately, that is not what happened. Neither party agreed to apologize, and Frags left the server, creating a new server for himself. During this time, I was worried we'd have to pick sides, and choose each night whether to join a VC with Creel or with Frags. This was by far the lowest point in the server, and when I was least optimistic about the future. Now about Frags. Frags is most certainly a person. Quite the person. Between his bouts of crippling depression, angry rants, and sociopathic tendencies, he's a cool guy who likes to take charge and deal with shit head on. He's a proud man who won't bow down to anyone, nor apologize if he doesn't think he's in the wrong. He is an INTJ personality who likes gunmetal gray, which I'll admit is a good color, and his favorite food is the souls of the damned, also matzo ball soup. He loves martial arts, sports, and being strong or something, I don't really know. He absolutely hates the color burnt sienna, and although he's colorblind, he gets violent when he sees it. Some things I know about him is that he sent 29 people to the ER, has been the idol of a cult, likes waffles more than pancakes, and has held someone hostage. Quite the rap sheet. Frags gives me off a dark gray or red aura or vibe. Here are some things that people have to say about him. What was your first impression of Frags?
I don't know why, but he felt like a teenager.
He's a
What
guy.
happened?
Shut up, guys. I'm interviewing Giraffe. This is why
I just came in.
this is why we have to do separate calls. How do you feel about him now?
Still a dude, I think.
You suck at this.
He's trans. He's still a teenager.
Lovely words said by Frags. Now the next month is up. March. Soon after leaving the server owned by Giraffe, Frags created his own server and named it Just the Four of Us. The present day server has now been created. It was this time when Frags started looking for his old Terraria playthrough friends, that being Dan, Z, and the mysterious Ramen. Z and Dan were the first to join, with Z not really talking and Dan joining every once in a while for 30 minutes at a time. A few days later, however, Frags found Ramen. He found him and invited him to the server, and just like that, Ramen had joined, the last current core member to join to this day, rivaled in racism only by Dan himself. With the new people, all of whom played Terraria, we obviously started a new Terraria server, this time playing Calamity. This was a big playthrough hosting lots of builds and late night grinding. This was one of the funnest playthroughs I've ever done, but then we stopped it for like 2 weeks and beat the game on a day, like 2 weeks later, so that was the end of that. Also, Creel joined back for the playthrough, so that's awesome since everything was back to normal and we had more people. It's important to note that 2 people from Polaris, who were in the Funny People Discord who didn't talk, Nigma and Cool Kid, were left behind as they weren't active and we had moved servers. In March, it was also Creel's birthday too, so that was cool. Let's take some time now to talk about ramen. Though introduced sometime after the original server, ramen quickly became a core member, being active throughout many playthroughs and events. Out of all the current members, ramen seems the most like Krill to me. Quiet but ready to call out an interracial couple when he sees one. I think ramen is able to balance out Frag's yin with his yang, with them often being in the same Discord call for the entire day, talking about who knows what. Overall, I'd say he's just a chill dude who loves to game like the rest of us. Ramen told me he's an ISTP personality type, and his favorite food is steak. Ramen gives off a yellowish and light blue colored aura to me. Here's what people had to say about him. What was your first impression of ramen?
He was like the quiet kid at school.
Like,
I don't know.
Definitely black.
how do you feel about him now?
I just feel sad for him.
God, I hate Nick.
Anything else?
Racism unlocked.
Quite racist indeed. Anyways, on to April. April. April was a time of great transition for the profile pictures of our group. I had finally started my time and could remove my pink Discord profile and returned to my beloved croissant. And Giraffe had to now get a funny Discord profile picture after losing a game of the ones. Great for me, bad for Giraffe. April was also a time of our first big modded Minecraft playthrough, with a host of items, ambiance, and building mods to suit everyone's needs. I also wanted to get an airship mod, but I got no such mod and was barred from saying the word airship because I talked about it too much. Airship, 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 airship. This playthrough was very fun, and we found one of the best locations we'd ever come across in Minecraft. A small grass area surrounded by snowy mountains. We had a cabin in the mountains, a big house near the bottom, and a cave hobbit-style house in the mountains. Unfortunately, another player that had joined us for the playthrough, Siege, killed Frags and pissed him off, so he kicked Siege from the server and we stopped the playthrough. I couldn't really think of anything else that happened this month. Also, it was Giraffe's birthday, which was a thing, so. May. The beginning of May had me, Frags, and Ramen play a new fun game called Omega Strikers. This was a traumatic period of time when Ramen and I would play with Frags on this cursed game. That's all I'm going to say on the matter, so don't ask. Some other small stuff happened, probably, I don't fucking know. And later on this month, we got some new people. From a looking for group post, as well as past connections, 3 new people joined the server. This was Hero, a South African guy with a cool accent, Lyrics, a woman, and Flashy. They all didn't talk much, nor did they play many games with us, so needless to say, they were all eventually kicked off for being extremely inactive, though it took Frags a while to kick off Lyrics. This month happened to be Frag's birthday too. He turned 18 and was finally able to adopt us, so that's great. June. Oh boy. June was a big one. In the span of a month, we had beef between members, arguments, members getting kicked out, and a whole host of new members joined. I can make an entire video on the Bread Rising alone, but that's for another time. This month started out with a historic event called the Bread Rising. Tired of Frags being a big meanie towards him, along with being locked up by a new jailbot, Henry, who is me, had a thought. He had an idea. And when I have an idea, you gotta watch the fuck out. I was tired of Frags being able to do whatever he wanted as the owner of the server, so I had the idea to make my own server, a revolution against Frags, the Bread Rising. After a late night of scheming, creating propaganda in Photoshop, and planning my revolution, it began. I first turned to Giraffe, asking if he'd be my revolutionary brother, a man on the inside. Here's how that conversation went. Yo, what's up, shawty? I need your assistance. Ha, I'm Giraffe, and I'm not gonna help you because I'm a dumbass little cunt who likes to suck Frag's dick. Ha, kill yourself! Ha, I'm so short. With Giraffe being unwilling to help, I had to turn to Juniper. Juniper was part of the Mages clan back in Polaris, and coincidentally, we were communists back then, so she was fucking down to do this, alright? I created the Bread Revolution server, spammed the 4 of us, and invited everyone to the new server. Thanks to my persuasive charms and my good visuals along with my promise of bread for all, I managed to get everyone to join the server, dealing Frags a low blow and threatening to topple his empire. But then I got bored and removed everyone's privileges on the server and turned it into a dictatorship called the Rye regime. There will be no Minecraft, only Minecraft, no Terraria, only terribleness. You cannot speak, you cannot do anything. I am the only one. I am the only person to have ever existed. No freedom of speech, only the Rye regime. You will eat what I want you to eat. You will eat only rice and you will like it! I forgot to take pictures, so that sucks. Anyways, me and Frags had heart to heart and the revolution ended. I promised to be more mature and Frags promised to be less angry. Then everything was fine. It wasn't. Time went on, and Frags and I were still angry with each other. We were trying to start up a new Minecraft server with mods, and I talked about getting an airship mod. I kind of talked a lot about it and pissed Frags off. I was still being immature, and Frags was still being angry, so we had beef with each other. While we argued it out, Juniper tried to join the conversation and give her opinion. She didn't like how Frags was acting and told him as such. Frags then gave her an ultimatum and told her to get used to it or to leave. She chose the latter. As guys do, Frags and I dealt with our shit and made up, and that was that. Notably, to give Frags a late birthday gift and to get rid of any remaining bad blood, I made him and everyone a video of why he was similar to Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. This is something Frags had been saying for a while, and I agreed, so I made a video of it. It's a great video, DM me if you want it. Towards the end of June, Henry made a looking for group post to get more people on the server, as well as started the process of doing a Skyrim playthrough. The Skyrim playthrough didn't work out, it was sad, but whatever. We made a test server to try out the new members and see what they were like. The new members included Uki, who became inactive for 3 weeks, so we still don't really know him. Jack, a guy who lives in Egypt. Redneck, another guy. Kayat, I call him Cat, and he was really active from the start, so we quickly joined the main server. And Savior, a woman. Savior was also very active and a woman, so she joined the main server. Savior soon left the server out of fear of being disliked, but Frags was able to drag her back. Then she left again, but she came back, but then she left again, and now she's back for good. Soon after, Frags and Savior started dating, which was very surprising. It wasn't. July. July started off strong with a big Minecraft playthrough in lieu of a Skyrim playthrough, hosted by Frags, paid partly by Henry, to get to know the new people who had joined the server. The playthrough mostly consisted of Giraffe, Frags, Creel, and Savior on a team, building up on an island, and Henry secretly living below that island, messing with Frags and co. During this time, Henry, Frags, Ramen, and Dan began playing For Honor together. Another traumatic and fun gaming adventure. During the middle of July, we made possibly the biggest decision in our group's history when we decided to make it a community server. This meant more people, a slight hierarchy system, events, and the transformation from a random friend group to a full-blown community. A place where we always have willing people to play a game and get playthroughs or just chill in VC. I'm very happy we decided to make it a community, and that's one of the main reasons I'm making this video, to help grow it, to introduce new members. With a new community comes new active people, that being Matt, Aura, Empyrean, and Pigeon. A lot more people had joined, but only around 1 in 4 people who join are actually active, so a lot of them ended up getting kicked. To celebrate the creation of our community, as well as a 1-year anniversary group, we started a playthrough of our favorite game. Calamity was a blast, with all of us building a giant tower, killing bosses, and getting a feel for the new people. I spent hours upon hours building my tower, exploring the building mods I'd add along the way. It was so much fun. Some other notable events during July included Henry's birthday, me, the making of the personnel cards for the main members, also by me, Dev making art for people, and the start of this video, which hopefully will be finished by mid-August, though at the time I'm recording it, it's about to be September, so that's not going to happen. So yeah, that's what the last year basically consisted of. Overall, I'd say it was pretty fun. We had the creation of our server, drama, a hell of a lot of playthroughs, beef between members, and the creation of our community. Let me just say, I'm so thankful and happy that I have this place. Every night I can get on and someone's ready to beat my ass in rounds or play IKEA Simulator or lose a PUBG match together. I haven't had gaming friends like this in years. When big things happen to me, y'all are one of the first people I tell. So thank you guys. If you're an older member, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you've just joined, I hope this gives you an example of what it will be like if you join our community. So yeah, thanks for watching, and here's to another year.